Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Industry Broadcast Audio Article number 45. Today's audio article is written by Jeff Tunnell. Jeff co-founded a development studio for Sierra Vivendi of Universal called Dynamix, where he designed, produced, and executive produced over 70 original titles, including The Incredible Machine, Trophy Bass, Star Siege, and Tribes. He was also the co-founder of Garage Games, home of the Torque game engine, which is available to indie developers for only $100 per programmer. While Torque used to be the game engine behind Tribes, it is now available in 2D as a next-generation shader engine on the Xbox 360 and is being developed for portable platforms and the PlayStation as well. All Jeff Tunnell has ever wanted to do with his career is to make fun games. Not only has he accomplished this goal, but he's helped to revolutionize our industry in the process, becoming one of the most important and iconic figures of the indie game development scene. To keep your thumb on the pulse of this man's thoughts and wisdom, head over to www.makeitbigingames.com and add his to the list of RSS feeds that you update daily. While you're at it, keep an eye on pushbuttonlabs.com, because something tells me that we're going to start seeing some very incredible and exciting developments come out of the woodwork there. Audio article number 45, Parts A and B, written by Jeff Tunnell and read aloud by Ryan Wienko on the 16th of December, 2008. Part A. Xbox Live Arcade opportunities get competitive in a hurry. A mere 16 days ago, I was waxing poetic about the opportunities for indie game developers in the Xbox 360 Live Arcade download space. Community response to that article has been huge, to say the least, with coverage from A-list blogs such as Major Nelson and Xbox Circle. For a while, my traffic to MBG was about 25% of what Garage Games normally gets, which is huge for a new blog. While I do believe that this is still a huge opportunity for indies, I don't think many people read my statement about how hard this will be. So to reiterate, on the flip side, the competition for this channel will go up in a hurry. All of the major game publishers are starting up games for XBLA. A year from now, there will be well over 100 games vying for players' attention. Well, that was a prophetic statement, and the success of the channel is catching the eye of everybody. From the major publishers to the major developers, to ex-publisher employees, to experienced indies, to wannabe indies. They are all self-funding. All they want is development kits and pre-approved slots. In other words, hundreds of titles will be vying for limited shelf space. Even though this is a download environment, there will only be so many titles that can fit into the system the way the UI is designed in the XBLA store. Even if there is an unlimited shelf space, there are a finite number of downloadable demos that a gamer can digest. If everybody jumps in the pool at once, all of the water will splash out. But since it looks like the stampede has begun, what can you do to get in on this gold rush? First of all, be realistic. If you have never created a game, or only created a small flash game, or maybe a cell phone game, you're going to be out of your league. Sorry to say that, you just won't have the chops yet. This is the pros, guys. As an example, I'm watching the Winter Olympics as I write this article. If you just started skating last year, you don't stand a chance at getting on center stage on the ice anytime soon. You might be talented, naturally gifted, and have an incredible amount of promise, but you will need a huge amount of practice, coaching, investment, and sacrifice before you even have the ability to get a chance at the qualifiers. This is no different. Making games is hard work, and the more you do it, the better you get. If you do have the talent and experience, then you possibly don't need much more advice from me, but I'll give it to you anyways. Depending upon your past track record, you're going to need to have something special to even get a development kit and approval slot. There is a huge amount of talent coming at this channel. Everybody wants to get back to pure games and have fun again. They can see a place where the best-selling games don't have huge licenses and all of the attendant BS that is going on in the box channel right now. Unfortunately, most of this same BS will come to this channel soon. For instance, I can imagine publishers easily making the choice to use XBLA as a lost leader in order to establish a presence and branding now before the channel becomes overdeveloped. Or I can imagine them using the channel for what my partner Jay Moore would call self-liquidating marketing. Example, overspend on a product that would just break even in order to support and market a box channel game. My own speculation is that the development budgets for XBLA games are already eclipsing $300,000 and very quickly will climb to over $1 million. While this is a huge amount for indie companies self-funding their games, it's coffee money for the big publishers compared to the amount that they spend on development and marketing for even a C-level box title. This is probably a huge letdown to many of you listening to this article, but I don't think you should let it bother you. Just make your games. Nobody's holding you back from making and releasing games on the PC and the Mac, and there is a proven market there. You need to get better, a lot better. Practice your craft and make fun, innovative games. Don't keep waiting around for the next big bling feature until you make your game. If you can't make a fun game now, waiting for the Uber Physics Engine or HDR rendering is not going to help you tomorrow. This is fodder for an entire article. If you are experienced, then you already know that your ideas are worthless and demos or nearly completed products are everything. Carrying your $1 million idea around in your head will get you nowhere. The only way you are going to get a mind share is to have something to show Microsoft or a third-party publisher in order to get your slot and development kits. Get a game engine. Get a hot PC with a hot video card, attach Xbox 360 controllers, make your game, watch people play it, make it better, watch them play more, make it better again. Don't let the competition get you down. If it's a fun, innovative game, it will sell. It will rise above the competition, and it'll make it to any channel you want. In fact, I can tell you that if you make a great game, there will be bidding wars to sign your game, as well as your company. This concludes Part A of audio article number 45. Part B is titled, How Much Money Can Your Xbox 360 Live Arcade Game Make? At the recent Microsoft Game Fest, where Garage Games announced the new XNA game engine, TorqueX, to complement Game Studio Express, Josh Williams, newly appointed CEO of Garage Games, and myself gave a talk about casual game smarts. Our discussion was about how to bridge the huge technological gap between downloadable games on the Xbox and the PC. I have been, and will continue, going over many of the points in that presentation here in this article. A quick outtake and a part of the indie game business that people are most interested in is how much can my game make? Cost of development. Creating an XBLA game is taking most studios 6 to 12 months. Costs are currently ranging from $100,000 to $300,000. However, as I've already pointed out, the bar is raising for XBLA developments, and the industry standard arms race will quickly make the top-end $300,000 budget a cheap product. Right now, I wouldn't even consider to make an XBLA game with a $100,000 budget. Development kits and certification quality assurance testing would eat up half of that, not leaving much for the actual game. While these budgets may seem high to indies, these budgets wouldn't even buy coffee on a AAA console title for the retail box channel. I can't give the exact figure, but the Marble Blast Ultra budget was at the higher end of the current budget range. I am happy that we took the time to get it right. Sales. Marble Blast Ultra has been reported on many sites to be one of the highest grossing XBLA titles. I believe this is true. While Geometry Wars has sold a lot more units, it sells at half the price of Marble Blast Ultra, 400 versus 800 gamer points, or $5 versus 10. Some of the recent games on XBLA are selling through the roof. Street Fighter is an example, and they have not even been on the market long enough to pass MBUs in sales. A public domain way of asserting an approximate number of units MBU has sold is to sign up for an account and get a very low score on the game. This will put your player on the leaderboard in the lowest position, and you will see that there are 100 to 120,000 accounts ahead of you. Sure, there can be duplicates, etc., but this is the closest you will come to find out how many units of the game have been sold. For educational purposes, we'll use the number 120,000, knowing that we are close. For a more in-depth read about using this method to determine XBLA game sales, check out Doug Walsh's randomly generated blog article, The Numbers Behind Live Arcade. Until we got real numbers for XBLA sales, we were using this method internally at Garage Games, and it was nice to see somebody else come up with this method and put it out to the public, so I don't have any worries about NDAs for this article. For 120,000 units at $10 per unit, that's $1.2 million. That's a nice number for an indie game, but that is not the whole story. Remember, Microsoft should make something for making this cool distribution channel available, and they do take a cut. The publicly available information on this is that the distribution fees for bringing a game to XBLA is 35 to 70%, depending upon participation by Microsoft. For example, the publisher gets 30 to 65% of the money collected for game sales. This is very much in line with what casual portals are charging, so I think it's safe to say that the numbers are probably close. Let's say you were a publisher or a developer that's able to fund your own development, so a $10 game, 800 gamer points, would net about $6.50, or 120,000 units at $6.50 per unit is $780,000. Again, if you were a starving indie developer, this sounds like an infinite amount of money. But in the world of publishers, this is not considered a big hit. Back in the day when I was in charge of an entire studio for a publicly traded company, we were looking to make a 5 times return on our investment. So a game with a $300,000 development cost would be targeted to make at least $1.5 million, or it would not be considered a success. Remember, as the head of a studio, you need to take a venture capital approach, so not every title will make its 5 times ROI, and some will do better. But I no longer have public shareholders to please. As the co-founder of a small independent game technology provider that makes a few games, I am extremely happy with our returns from XBLA 360, and I also know that we are not done yet. Marble Blast Ultra continues to sell extremely well. The conversion rates are astronomical, and Microsoft continues to sell Xbox 360s. We may yet hit the old 5 times return that I am used to being held to. Like I explained in my earlier article about the bar rising in the Xbox 360 Live Arena, slot approvals are getting hard to get. In fact, I liken XBLA 360 slots to the golden ticket in Willy Wonka. If you get one, you are set. This concludes audio article number 45, parts A and B, titled Xbox 360 Live Arcade Opportunities Get Competitive in a Hurry, as well as How Much Money Can Your Xbox 360 Live Arcade Game Make? Once again, this is written by Jeff Tunnell, and we recommend you head over to Jeff's blog at www.makeitbigingames.com. We also definitely recommend you head back to IndustryBroadcast.com on a regular basis, as we do our very best to update the site frequently, bringing you